Hi everyone, I'm David. Today I've got a really fun video, for me at least. I've got three different vintage guitars from the 1930s, varying price points. I've got a 1934 Gibson L-00, a most likely 1936 Kalamazoo KG-31, and a somewhere in the 1930s First National Institute of Allied Arts. So these guitars are kind of the gamut what it will cost you in a vintage guitar. And then down here I also have a 1939 Gibson A1 mandolin, which is also very fun. So these will kind of run the gamut of price. The most expensive is this L-00, these Gibsons. They'll cost you anywhere from like $5 for like kind of a beat up one, up to 8 or 9 or 10, depending on how much somebody's, if you get into like a vintage shop or something, it'll probably cost you 8 or 9. If you get it from an individual, you could probably get it for like 6 or so or whatever. Anyway, these guys are, depending on the condition, between like $1,000 and $1,500, I would say. Sometimes more. If you were going to get it at a shop, again, it'd probably be close to $1,800. These guys, depending on the condition, of course, can be anywhere from like $200 to like $800, usually like around $500 or $600. So that's kind of the gamut. I'll run through all of them and play them. I believe this is all original. If there's anything not original, I'm not aware of it. I'm sure the frets have been replaced at some point, but it doesn't really look like it. There's not much play wear on them, so that's what's making me say they probably were. It's got 2 repaired cracks, one down here that's been glued and cleated, and one up here that's been glued and cleated. And then the back has this kind of separation that's been repaired as well, just right down the middle. So it's where the 2 pieces of wood connect is where it had the issue. There's no like pick guard cracks anywhere. Everywhere else it's really solid. Great sounding instrument. And all 3 of these guitars have a very deep V. So the neck here, it comes to almost a point. This one's, the most V is the Kalamazoo. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from here, but it's like, it seems like you could like cut through something with this. It's very sharp. This one, not so much, but still like a V. And then this guy, also pretty deep V. So they're very similar necks, but it's really neat. I've never had any guitars from 1930s. Let me think. I don't think I have. But so to get 3 of them at one time is really cool. So this is really cool though. Kind of a vintage guitar shootout, I guess, as it were. As you can see, this is the arch top, F-hole. This is a flat top, X-braced. But super cool to have 3 guitars all at 90, years old or so, give or take a couple years. And then also this mandolin to boot. So I'll just play a couple chords on it so you can kind of hear what it sounds like, and then we'll go from there. All right, so that's a fun little vintage shootout of sorts. These guitars they're all awesome in their own ways. Obviously, like, it's tough to keep up with the L-00. It's not really a fair fight. Like, this was built as a much nicer guitar. The Kalamazoo is kind of like Kalamazoo is like the kind of budget version of the Gibson. Same factory, kind of, you know, and they still, but with the guitar that's now 90 years old or whatever, it can still, they're still awesome guitars, even if they were built on a budget. Like, this was built, it wasn't very expensive in 1934, but for the time it was, I guess. But super nice guitar. They did the best they could. This was like just a less expensive built guitar, so it's tough to keep up. This one I think sounds really good strumming. This one actually sounds really good finger picking. I was really surprised. All three of these have pretty dead strings on them. This one's strings have the most life left in them, but none of them are particularly like spring chickens as far as strings go. This one's strings, these might be older than me. They're ridiculously old. But that kind of goes with the vibe of it and the overall like feeling. Like, the guitars would sound way more alive if I put new strings on them, but that does kind of take away from some of the, I don't know, the vibe or the mojo or whatever. It's just a different sound. Like, it's going to get a very quick decay, not nearly as loud with dead strings. So if you wanted one of these guitars to sound a little more lively, putting new strings on them would certainly help that by a lot. They're also just kind of built to be more of the quick decay sound. They're not supposed to be like, I recently did a video on an 018 Martin in 1956. That guitar is built to have just a ton of sustain. These ones are not really built for that. This guy is very loud and it's got good sustain for what it is, but it's not, it's more of like a blues box kind of rough and tumble sort of guitar, not like a very pretty, I don't know. It's, you know, like with the Martin, I thought about playing in like a cathedral or something, just with high voltage ceilings. This one, I feel like you should be in a barn or like a honky tonk or whatever. You should just be like jamming with your friends and playing some either blues or old country or something. So different guitars for different things, but I was really impressed with this one finger picking, this first Allied. These probably cost like $7 when they came out or something, I don't know. These guys, I want to put new strings on this one just to see if it really comes alive, because it's a little bit dead right now with finger picking. Strumming, it sounds great, but these strings also are not helping it. They're super old. So I'm kind of between, since I'm selling them all, I'm a little bit torn because I don't want to, new strings do take away the vibe a little bit, and I don't want to put new strings on them if whoever buys them is like, oh man, I wish you had those old strings on them. I love that sound, you know, because it is a totally different sound, and you can, you know, eventually the strings will turn old, but it'll take a long time. So I might just leave them on. I'll probably just leave them on for now unless someone specifically asked for new strings. So we'll see. Anyway, these are absolutely phenomenal. This is like one of my dream guitars, the 1934 L-00. Just sounds incredible. It's great for strumming, finger picking. This one, the action's right where I like it. It's got the truss rod here, and then there's room in the saddle if you wanted to bring it down. If you wanted, you know, but with this type of guitar, I feel like it's more the chunky strumming, you know, doing riffs and stuff. I like the action where it's at, but if you wanted to just do more nice, quick leads and stuff, you might want to lower it some, but that's totally up to the person getting it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Give a shout out to my friend Michelle Rivers, local musician. She's awesome. She's check her out on Spotify. She also has her new band Denim Gold, and she's doing that duet with Hannah King. They're awesome. Check them out. Anyways, just want to give a quick shout out to her. She bought a guitar for me, and she gave me one of her shirts because she's super nice. She's awesome. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching along. Have a good one.